Hello you lovely lot, my name's Adam Shilton from Spotted Fin and AS Fishing TV, and we have come down today to do a number of features, and we've not been able to do it because it is -4 and everything is frozen solid. So we have scrapped the plan, and today we're going to look about and how to safely and hopefully effectively break the ice as well. So if you are a pleasure angler or a match angler and you're having to break the ice before you get sorted on your matches, we're going to have a little look at that today. So let's have a quick look at what we need to deal with and some of the equipment that we might need to use to do it. Okay, so when it comes to breaking ice, obviously safety is the first thing, so just make sure that you're not the kind of person that's going to try and stand on it. It doesn't matter how thick it looks, never ever ever try and do anything like that. So that's that first bit. Make sure you've got some decent footwear on. Obviously everything is frozen and slippy, like wooden boards and pegs and stuff like that. So again, a good pair of grippy shoes, trainers or some wellies, and that's fantastic. The next thing is, don't be having all your winter clothes on. Breaking the ice is actually quite physical, hard work. There's a lot of stuff to be doing with it, and the last thing you need to do when it's cold as it is today, -4, is sweating. As soon as you sweat, you're going to get cold really, really quickly. When you stop moving around and you stop setting your tackle up, when you start to fish your pleasure day, your session or your match, you're going to get really, really cold really, really quickly and end up making yourself really quite poorly. So just, you know, I'm not got my coveralls on or anything. I've got a pair of tracky bottoms on and my hoodie, and I've got my cap on at the minute. You know, I'm not wearing big woolly hats and stuff like that, just to stop myself from getting too warm. So obviously the ice breaking equipment itself, one of the things you're really going to need, because everything's going to get wet, is a really good pair of gloves. So a nice pair of gloves there that's just going to protect my hands, keep my fingers nice and warm when I'm bringing the rope backwards and throwing the rope out, because obviously it's all going to be wet. So again, the last thing you need is frozen fingers before you even get started fishing. The next thing is the icebreaker itself. So there's a few different things that I tend to use. I've got a good, it's a hammer head, to be fair, that you can see on there, attached to a nice big chain, so it gives loads and loads of weight for it to break through, especially when it's as thick as it is today. The ice is really quite thick, so something that you've got a bit of weight to it, you're going to be able to break through. And the chain's really important, as you'll see, because it enables you to cut a channel in the ice as it comes back. And then we're attached to some really good paracord. So I've got a lot of it as it goes through there. Paracord is really strong and really robust. Any kind of rope really, it's your choice. And then on the other end of that, because I use this as well, is a petrol can, nice and shiny clean. Never been used for petrol. It's really important that you don't have one that's had petrol in it. You don't want it to be leaking or breaking into the water or anything like that. So petrol can, we add some water to this to give it that little bit of weight, and sometimes that is enough just to break the ice, especially when it's a bit thinner. You know, might not always need to use, you know, the heavy breaker. Sometimes you can just use this. The only downside with that is it smashes the ice sort of all over the place, whereas the icebreaker enables you to cut more of a neat channel. So it depends on what you want to do, on the peg that you've got, on the peg that you choose or the peg that you draw, and see how it goes from there. And the last thing that I've got, this fits onto my cupping kit. So I use an old pole, and I put this on there as well, and it floats, and it just means that I can use it to drag the ice back or move it to one side, so that I'm not breaking any expensive pole equipment and stuff like that as well. But again, if don't always need that, depends on how good the petrol can is. But there you go. It looks like more like a weapon, doesn't it, really? But it isn't. So again, it's, you know, dead basic, simple equipment. Hopefully this is the only time I have to take it out this year, and we'll see how it goes. So let's see if we can break some ice. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just break down in the edge here, see how thick the ice is, see what we're dealing with. And it's actually quite thick. Got lots of grass in the way. So we can see now from there, once that chain comes out, you can then just use it to hopefully saw through the ice. And the problem we're going to have here is it's very, very thick. So you can see now why these gloves are so important. You just need to keep going backwards and forwards, and it just saws through the ice just a bit at a time. You can see now it brings that ice over to us. So we can deal with it and get one down. Okay, there we go. So we've managed to break, you know, a section now that is free to be able to fish. We're scared every fish in the entire venue, so God knows what's going to happen with that. But you know, we can but try. So it's a case now of getting stuff set up. So I've broken the ice first. Everything is still on the trolley. I've not got anything out really. It's just important then that you can try and leave it, get everything set up, and hopefully there's been a bit of a stirring up at the bottom because I've been dragging it through. And hopefully some fish will feed a little bit later this afternoon. Typical with a sort of a frozen day, bright sunshine, which is not really what we needed, but hopefully it'll start to warm us up a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. Just don't forget the safety points that I've mentioned about breaking ice. It's really, really important to keep yourself warm and safe, and obviously dry as well when it's like this. When you're scooping the ice out as well, obviously I put some of it either side of the peg. And some of it you can tuck under and you can slide across the top and stuff like that. So just be aware if you're in a mat situation, try not to slide it over to the anglers next to you if you're doing that. As funny as it would be, it's not the right thing to do. Okay, so there we go. That's how to break the ice safely, and hopefully we'll catch a bit of fish later in the day. It's been great for you to tune in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as always. It really, really helps us out, and we will see you on the bank, hopefully on a warmer bank, very, very soon. Take care.